Hello and welcome to Jeopardy at Home. I'm your host, Alec Michelle. Thank you for joining us for another week of live episodes. We have a particularly historic matchup on our hands today. Of course, you've all heard the legend of Javi, the boy who came from nothing, who defeated the Queen Simone, and who has now risen to prominence as perhaps the best Jeopardy at Home player of all time. He currently has a 4-game win streak, more than 18,000 points under his belt, and it looks like he may just never be stopped. But we'll see if today changes the course of history, because this is a game unlike any other. This is a game full of fierce competitors, and today, for the first time, we welcome a team to Jeopardy at Home. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, let's say hello to our first fierce competitor. That's going to be Marissa, joining us from Los Angeles, California. Marissa, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I feel like I'm tingling because of this group that I'm introducing next. This is a father-daughter combo. Again, joining us from Los Angeles, Alex and Mr. Gordon. How are you two?
Hey.
Look at that enthusiasm all around. I love to see it. And then this is the man who needs no introduction. The chat is already exploding. People at home are absolutely going wild just to hear his name. Javi joins us yet again for his 5th Jeopardy at Home match. Javi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Glad to be back as always.
Cool, calm, and collected. We like to get to know our contestants a little bit before we take them to task. Marissa, you're up against a champion and the first ever tag team duo in Jeopardy at Home. Do you feel like an underdog right now?
I do a little bit, but I feel okay. I feel good. I'm excited.
I like that. A vote of medium self-confidence, tepid, secure. I love that. Alex and Mr. Gordon, we come to you. This is groundbreaking stuff. How are you two going to manage both the social dynamics of your relationship and the clues on the board today?
I have the buzzer, and I'm really nervous for myself, so that's why I brought a friend. But it'll be good. I'm excited to see Javi in action.
A little backup. I like that. Mr. Gordon, let me ask you, what would it mean for your family, for your lineage, to secure this victory on today's show?
I must say this is the ultimate moment of a lifelong dream, Alex.
Very exciting. We'd love to hear that. And Javi, we come to you. Now, I don't typically like to indulge the rumors circulating on the message boards, but people are saying that these victories are going to your head, that you're becoming prideful and sort of devilish. Is there any truth to that?
No, it's just, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy week. I've been in talks with a lot of the major networks about producing a documentary, 10-part docu-series about my run here. So, I'm trying to field all the offers and keep everything in play. Pretty exciting.
Totally understandable. Best of luck. I'll be taking 50% royalties on anything you make. Folks, let's go ahead and get to the board. We have 5 categories today, per usual. We say hello to our contestants yet again, and we take a look at what we've got. The categories are comics, playing cowboys, coloring book, I Spy, and finally, act your age. Marissa, like we said, you're the underdog, so I'm going to start with you. Pick the first clue, please.
Okay, I will do act your age for 600.
Let's go there. Life expectancy has risen consistently, although lifespans for this group always lag behind their better halves. If no one buzzing in yet, remember Alex on the buzzer. Looks like Mr. Gordon nudging her a little bit for an answer, and Alex and the Gordons come in.
What are wives?
That is incorrect. We lose points over there. Javi buzzes in. Javi.
What are husbands?
That is correct. Husbands or men. Men consistently have a shorter life expectancy than women. Javi, the board is to you.
Let's do act your age for 400.
Chop down a tree and count these to determine how many seasons it had been growing. And Javi buzzes in first.
What are its rings?
That is correct. Some people think it's a myth. It is true, as far as I can tell. Javi, your board again.
Act your age 800.
As of 2020, this is the most populous generation of Americans compared to all others. And that is Javi first in close race.
What are Baby boomers.
Baby boomers. That is incorrect. Far off. Unfortunately, maybe the least populous generation. Marissa ventures a guess.
What are millennials?
That is also incorrect. Do the Gordons try and buzz in on this one? Pensive, a moment of deliberation. They're saying no, no, no. We're looking for Gen Z, the most recent generation, is currently the most populous in America. But Javi, we return to you. Nobody got that correct.
Act your age 1,000.
Okay. This scientific method compares proportions of isotopes to determine the age of organic matter. Marissa buzzes in.
What is a half-life?
That is incorrect. I love that we're venturing guesses. Unfortunately, a lot of them are not correct so far. Javi buzzes in.
What is radiometric dating?
We can't accept that. No, we're going to say that we cannot accept that. And we go finally to the Gordons if they choose to buzz in now. Javi, very close, but we're looking for carbon dating or radiocarbon dating. We need that operative word carbon in there. And again, we go to Javi with every single contestant in the negative right now.
Let's do I Spy for 400.
Okay. I'm an American whistleblower who leaked classified information in 2013. And that's Javi first.
Who's Snowden?
That is correct, Edward Snowden.
I Spy 600.
Keeping it in the category, I'm the first director of the FBI who illegally kept tabs on political figures. And that is Alex, the Gordons first.
Who is J. Edgar Hoover?
That is absolutely correct. And the board is you.
800. I Spy.
Okay, we'll stay there. I'm the CIA agent whose identity was leaked to the Washington Post in a 2003 controversy. No one confident about this. Some of us only babies at the time, but no one buzzes in. We were looking for Valerie Plame, whose identity was leaked. Whoops. And we return back to the main board. Again, we go to the Gordons.
I Spy 1000.
Okay, to finish the category, I'm the Russian agent who successfully infiltrated the NRA prior to the 2016 election. Recent history now. She has been deported back to Russia and long forgotten in America. We're looking for Maria Butina. Maria Butina is no longer in American prisons. And the Gordons will take us to a new category. No one with a positive score yet.
Comics 600. Alex.
Okay, starting in the middle, I like that. This longtime comic strip features the titular character in a white-collar office. And that is Javi first.
What is Dilbert?
That is correct. Dilbert, that man with the strange tie. Javi, the board is to you.
Let's do Comics 800.
Okay, keeping it at home there. The Far Side, by this cartoonist, was syndicated internationally for 15 years. Still unfamiliar territory. No one buzzing in. We're looking for Gary Larson. And so far, this proving to be one of the more difficult boards we've had yet. Marissa with negative 1,800, the Gordons stable at 0, and Javi with a meager 200. Let's go back to you, Javi, for our next clue.
Let's do Comics 400.
Okay. This famous cartoon cat is always coming down with a bad case of the Mondays. And that is Javi first.
Who is Garfield?
That is correct. A lovable creature, except for those horrible movies that came out with him. Javi, you again.
Let's finish the category.
Okay. The Peanuts comics feature many characters, including this avian companion of Snoopy the dog. That is Marissa first.
Who is Woodstock?
That is correct. A huge get for Marissa, and she claws her way back into the game. Marissa, 2 categories left on the board. You've got some ground to make up. Where are we going to
go? Coloring book for 400.
Okay. This 2011 erotic novel was first self-published electronically before it became a worldwide bestseller. Javi reveals himself as a fan.
What is 50 Shades of Grey?
That is correct. What a piece of art it is.
Coloring book 600. Nathaniel Hawthorne published this work of historical fiction in 1850.
And very quickly, that is Javi.
What is the Scarlet Letter?
That is correct. We're getting the hang of the category, and Javi is starting to pull ahead.
Let's do 800 coloring book.
Okay. The Color Purple, which won the 1983 Pulitzer and National Book Awards, was written by her. And that is Javi again, first on the board.
Who's Toni Morrison?
That is incorrect. And suddenly an opening. Does anyone else choose to buzz in? No one else buzzing in so far on this 800, the author of The Color Purple. And we go quiet. Javi loses points because the answer is Alice Walker. Alice Walker is who we're looking for. Javi, to you again.
Coloring book 1000.
Okay, to finish the category. A Clockwork Orange became a film nearly a decade after it was published by this author. Javi, quick on the buzzer every time this category.
Who is Burgess?
That is correct. Anthony Burgess, and he redeems himself with the 1000. Okay, going into our final category, negative 800, 0, and 1800 for Javi. Something's got to happen here.
Let's start at 1000.
Okay, trying to wipe his opponents off the board, a strategy we've seen Javi employ before. Seth MacFarlane released the satirical take on the Western genre in 2014. This satirical take, looking for the name of the movie. And that is Javi first.
What is 1,000 Ways to Die in the West?
That is, I believe, incorrect. I'm going to make sure that that is incorrect. This is the first ever fact check that we've had on the show. And I am going to say that that is incorrect. We cannot accept that answer. Does anyone else choose to buzz in? Marissa buzzes in. Huge.
A Million Ways to Die in the West?
Yes, that is correct. Remember to phrase in the form of a question. What is
sorry.
a million ways to die in the West? That is correct. Javi by a 0. And Marissa back in the positive. Okay, Marissa, board goes to you.
Playing Cowboys for 800.
Okay, going for 800. This the spaghetti western subgenre developed in the wake of this director's film A Fistful of Dollars from 1964. The Gordons are first.
Clint Eastwood.
That is incorrect, unfortunately. And the Gordons go in the negative. Does anyone else choose to buzz in? Marissa, pensive. Javi, a film fanatic. I know he thinks he has this on the tip of his tongue, but no one else buzzes in. Clint Eastwood, the star of A Fistful of Dollars, but the director, Sergio Leone, one of the progenitors of spaghetti westerns. 2 clues left on the board. Marissa, where will you take us?
Playing Cowboys for 600.
Okay. The 2010 remake of True Grit featured this actor as U.S. Marshal Reuben Rooster Coburn. Everyone knows they need this desperately. But no one buzzes in. And we are going to not identify Jeff Bridges as the person who played that main character in True Grit. Now, this is an unusual game for more than one reason. This is our first tag team, but also we're getting some notifications from the audience that there may have been a technical glitch. Javi incorrectly identified the Seth MacFarlane movie as 1,000 Ways to Die in the West, but it appears that the board did not update with that information. Javi, do you have anything to say right now? Have you hacked into the board?
I have some Russian spies working on it. I didn't know if it worked out yet.
Okay, we're going to have to thank our audience for letting us know, because that button did not function, but Javi was incorrect there. He only has 800 points, which means this last clue is really significant. Let's go there now. This American actor was famous for his westerns, beginning with his breakout role in Stagecoach. Javi buzzes in first.
Who is John Wayne?
That is correct. And Javi finishes strong, adding those points and boosting back up to 1,200. So we finish our main board. Marissa with 200 points. No clapping yet. This thing is not over. So unfortunately, negative 800 from the Gordons. A valiant effort, but a few unfortunate incorrect answers. And Javi again finishes the board in the lead with 1,200 points. So we're going to go now to Final Jeopardy. The category is Kids TV. Please write down your wager. Marissa, 200 points to play with. Alex and her father, Mr. Gordon, negative 800. Javi in the lead with 1,200. We'll remind our audience that we are available on Instagram at Jeopardy at Home with clues every week and clips and highlights from the show. Particular thank you to the audience for saving us from inaccuracy today. Ironically, the person who pointed that out first to me was Simone, previous champion, keeping us on the straight and narrow. All right, now that we've got those clues entered, we go now to the hint. This TV channel launched in 1992 and has primarily broadcast children's programming, including Ben 10 and Ed, Ed, and Eddie. 30 seconds on the board. All right, and we put our pencils down. Let's go first with Gordon, our first tag team, a lovely father-daughter duo, but they ended with negative 800 points. What did the two of you wager?
2,000.
Okay, unfortunately, you cannot wager more points than you had, but I'll go ahead and say that you wagered negative 800.
Okay, great.
What was the answer that you entered?
Who is Cartoon Network? What is Cartoon Network?
That is correct. So you successfully dropped down to negative 1,600 points, a valiant effort and a great absolute value for your final score, but unfortunately a few incorrect answers.
Wrong or incorrect, you said?
Cartoon Network is correct. So you gained an additional negative 800 points.
So we got worse by getting the answer correct?
Unfortunately, yes, your total score did decrease. That's the nature of the game.
It's all about the absolute value.
Marissa, we go now to you with 200 points. We know the correct answer is Cartoon Network. Tell us, what did you wager?
I wagered 150.
Okay, a conservative wager. And what was your answer?
What is Cartoon Network?
Correct. Okay, so 350 points in the positive. Now, in terms of absolute value, that is less than the Gordons. So we congratulate the Gordons for that. But it is a better score because it is greater than 0. Javi, we now come to you. Yet again, you didn't need to wager a thing. You will win your 5th game, but tell us, what did you wager?
I wagered 400.
400, and he said, what is Cartoon Network? He ends with 1,600 points. Again, it's worth pointing out that in terms of absolute value, the Gordons tied for the win here, but Javi's number being in the positive means that he ultimately takes home the prize here. Javi, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, 19,900 points, a 5-game streak, very impressive, but a valiant effort from all our contestants. We thank them for joining us. The Gordons, you know what? Coming into this game, I thought you had it in the bag. That's how I felt. I thought the world was yours. What went wrong this game?
The categories.
We had
You know what?
we had
I
a
think you're right.
as well.
I think that's a good call. We would love to have you back. We're specifically planning a tournament for people who ended up in the negative to redeem themselves. I have no doubt that you'll be the top of that group.
Thank
Marissa,
Champions of the losers.
you did end up in the positive, Marissa. You had a great answer on 1,000 clue. How do you feel now? Unfortunately, still being defeated, but playing exceptionally well.
I feel okay. I'm a little upset with myself. It's okay.
I can understand that. Javi, normally you end up sort of cursing out the losers or trying to stomp on them virtually. I'd ask that you try and refrain yourself in this moment, but if you'd like to say anything to your fellow competitors, please go ahead.
I think it was a good fight, and I got a lot of questions wrong. Not my best showing, and I don't know. Look forward to improving as we continue here.
Okay, humble in victory. Again, thank you to all, and thank you to all who watched. We'll be back on Friday.
Thanks,
See
Alex.
everybody then.